Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Brian Dacus all day long, all day strong. Johnny Hill's in the house as well. And, man, we got a busy show because, we're going to talk about them Tigers who dropped Jackson State 94-77. Very, very slow start, but 5 Tigers in double figures. My man Jaquan Walton was balling, especially early in the game. My man scored the first 7 points of the game, had 15 of the first 23, and heck, had 15 points when there was still 11 minutes left in the first half. He did finish with 19. So we're going to talk a little Tiger basketball. We got Zach Boyd on at noon today. We're going to dive deep up into a little Tiger basketball. And I do have to say, ESPN Plus is terrible. Could not watch basically half the game. And we'll get into that as well. But the Tigers, a different starting lineup. A lot of good things that we saw from them. A lot of tough stuff we saw as well. They got plenty of room for improvement. Penny didn't coach, of course. He's out the first 3 games. He'll be back for the Michigan game when they get ready for the battle for Atlantis. But I will say, man, what I saw from Caleb Mills and heck, Malcolm, the potential you see with Jordan Brown, David Jones hit some 3-pointers, went 4 for 7. Did have a lot of turnovers, was struggling early in that game. Thank goodness Jaquan Walton was no joke. But, yeah, good start for the Tigers. A much better start than Tom Izzo's bunch. Did you see that Tom Izzo's Michigan State, by the way, number 4 in the country, did you know that?
Yeah.
4. Top 5 team, man. Did you know they lost to James Madison?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be a very awkward Thanksgiving because the reason Tom Izzo took that game against James Madison, did you know his sister's son actually coaches on that staff?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you right now, that was really nice for you to throw him a bone, give him a little love, but I bet you didn't think you were going to get up there and get bit. He went off on his juniors and seniors who were absolutely terrible in that game. We got to talk a little college hoops today. I'm excited because we have college football and college basketball's David Cobb from CBSSports.com today at 11:30. It's going to be a lot of fun because not only are we going to talk about a little bit of hoops, but I got a lot of questions for Cobb. The Ole Miss Georgia game. What's going to happen with Michigan? Michigan plays Penn State. Right now, I don't care all the stuff that's going on with Michigan. And I know Michigan hasn't played anybody, but that line looks easy to me. Please. Child, please. Is it going to be that big of a deal if Jim Harbaugh is suspended, if they have all this stuff hanging over their head? No, because James Franklin at Penn State can't score. You saw it against Ohio State. Michigan can. Michigan's defense is stacked. J.J. McCarthy's playing out of his mind. Corum's running the football. Man, I'm telling you right now, laying Michigan minus the 4.5, I absolutely love. Also love Memphis this week. Charlotte can't score. Memphis can score. And Seth Hennigan might be day-to-day or whatever. Seth Hennigan will be back. I have a very good feeling that he will be playing. And what is it, Tevin Carter?
That's right.
The backup quarterback. And if he doesn't, Tevin will come in there and do his thing. I'm not scared of this Charlotte team. I'm not scared of Biff. By the way, I didn't know he buried a billionaire. Did you know that?
Yes.
How'd you know that?
John, I followed Charlotte football this year closer than anybody maybe in the country.
I mean, no offense. Biff ain't nobody's going to confuse Biff for Matthew McConaughey. How'd he land a billionaire?
Well, he's a billionaire. His wife.
I thought he married a billionaire.
Okay, let me explain, John. So he married his wife in college. His wife's father was working on Wall Street, and so he started coaching and stuff like that. And his father-in-law was like, "Do you want me to teach you everything about hedge funding?" And he was like, "Sure." And so his father-in-law taught him everything he should know. He becomes a hedge funder in Pittsburgh and becomes a multimillionaire. Johnny's richer than. I mean, he's so rich.
So he can start his own NIL at Charlotte.
John, he's so rich that he became the head coach at a high school in Baltimore, and was so rich that he paid for scholarships for all of his players to attend the school. He paid for housing for them. He paid everybody on his staff's salary. He hired a chef for the school so that everyone at the school could have fresh meals and good meals from a chef. They got so good at this Baltimore high school, St. Francis, that nobody in the state would play them because they were so good. So they had to start playing a national schedule. He started buying plane tickets for everybody on his team, buying shuttles, buying hotel rooms, paying for food. Everything was paid for by Biff Poggi. This guy is like filthy rich.
I love this guy.
And just decided he wanted to coach football.
Man, I need to...
Sold his hedge funding company to former players of his.
Does he got any children? Daughters specifically?
Yes, he does. I don't know daughter. I know he has kids, and I don't know how old they are. I don't know male or female. I don't know anything about the rest of his family. I just know a lot about him.
If you find that he has a daughter between 30 and 45, please get me their information.
I'll let you know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my goodness.
Yes. Anything else you want to know about Charlotte football? Because I got a lot.
How is it that they keep winning and they can't score?
They've got their defense is very hit or miss. They've got a ton of transfers on their defense. Now, last game I'm shocked. This past game against Tulsa, they won.
What was it, 10-7 or something?
That was a couple weeks ago against East Carolina. 3 weeks ago, I think, because they played FAU the week after that.
As close to Charlotte as obviously
John,
you do.
I mean, it may be a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't feel proud to admit this. I've watched every Charlotte game this year, most of them from start to finish. So their defense, they have a ton of transfers on their defense. A lot of Michigan transfers that played at Michigan while Biff was at Michigan. I think he has an Ole Miss transfer on his defense. A ton of Power 5 transfers on that defensive line. But he suspended a couple of them last game, which is why I'm surprised they won. I don't know if they were suspended the entire game or if they were just suspended a half. I think it was just the first half. And I think they were losing at halftime and had to come back. The quarterback is the most interesting position on this team because Jalen Jones transferred in before the season started. He played last year at Bethune-Cookman. Before that, he played at Jackson State. He comes in a run-first quarterback. Biff Poggi wears a hat in most games that says "run the dang ball." He's very much a run-heavy coach. Jalen Jones comes in. He is a running quarterback. Really is not a great thrower of the football. Well, 2 weeks ago against Florida Atlantic, he got injured. He's probably out for the season. And so Texler Ivy, who they've been going back and forth with for a while, he's gotten a lot of playing time. He was a backup for the entire season up until a couple games ago, and he had more passing yards than the starting quarterback, Jalen Jones. So
Whoa.
Texler Ivy, who is a walk-on, backup quarterback, he was the starter last week against Tulsa, had some massive throws late in the game to win that game against Tulsa. I would guess Biff Poggi's very vague on who his quarterback is going to be every week. I'm going to guess that Tex Ivey is going to be the starting quarterback again this week against the Tigers, and he's more of a throwing quarterback. But this offense, Memphis should not be scared of this offense.
Feel a little bit better because I would tell you one thing: as much as I've watched the Tigers, the one thing that they're terrible at is tackling.
Yeah,
that's not their strong suit.
And Charlotte's best running back got injured second or third game of the season. He's out for the year. So they've been really banged up offensively, but their offense is not very good to begin with.
And Biff, he coached under Jim Harbaugh back there. He's a Harbaugh guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call him a Harbaugh disciple, though, because he was just there for a couple years, and he was like an assistant to the head coach. Really, he
was there before the whole, sign stealing scandal.
And Jim Harbaugh brought him in basically to like manage the team. Like he literally came in and ran it like a Fortune 500 company, and a lot of people give him credit for their turnaround and going to the college football playoffs. But he was only there for a couple years.
Well, speaking of Biff and run the dang ball, guess he kind of like Mike Gundy. I mean, what Ollie Gordon II's done lately, this guy should be actually mentioned in the Heisman run. I mean, he's been tearing things up. If you don't know, I'm talking about running back for Oklahoma State who ran all over Oklahoma's face. But we got tons of stuff to get into. Again, we're going to talk Tigers at 12 o'clock with Zach Boyd. We got to talk college football and college basketball with David Cobb at 11:30. We've got Hardenwood because it feels so good at 12:30. And I got some crazy stuff like people don't feed your dog edibles. If you want to feed a dog edibles, bring him up here to Sports 56. I'll be that dog. But real dogs, cannabis and marijuana, all that stuff, bad for them. Don't know if you know that. I got one of the scariest stories. A lady found out why you should never give your Rottweiler a damn edible. And it is a scary story. Plus, we got Bronny James good news. Because we don't have LeBron James good news. Because did you see him last night pass the ball instead of take the last shot? Come on, LeBron. They lost last night. They lost to the Deadgum Heat, 108-107. Now, LeBron's a great passer. But dadgummit, he can't close that John out, can he? But the good thing is, for the James family, did you hear the news that Bronny, if all things go well, and he passes, he's like later on this month, later in November, if everything's clear when he goes to the doctors, he could actually return to USC and play some basketball. Now, that's an awesome story.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
That is just something great to hear because, man, when he collapsed and had a cardiac arrest, I never thought he was going to step on the court again. And again, basketball, life, people love sports more than pretty much a lot of things some people do. Glad to hear that. Plus, we also got $20 billion in treasure going to be raised from the seafloor.
I'm sorry?
$20 billion is going to be raised from the seafloor right off the coast of Colombia. It's a 300-year-old Spanish galleon they found. It's got 200 tons of gold.
Wow.
Not bad. Plus, we got an Eagles coach who wears a G-string. Caleb Williams cried this week. You know what? People cry, man. I've cried before.
It's an emotional game, John.
Now, I have a broken foot, I think. I'm going to go to the doctor and get it checked out. Now, I didn't cry when I broke my foot last night because I'm tough as nails.
A little disappointed that you didn't go get that checked out yesterday when you were
because I had a
complaining the
kickball
entire
game.
day.
I had a kickball
Another
game.
reason why I'm disappointed you didn't go get it checked out
About
yesterday.
30 minutes into the game, had a nice little kick.
You had a game last night?
Yeah. That's why I had to do the ESPN play. Man, that's my last game of the
John,
year. I was just going to get through it. I toughed it out.
You were literally complaining during your show yesterday about your foot.
Well, yeah, because I hurt it.
So then you go and play a kickball game?
I'm not going to let my team down.
Oh, jeez. I mean, the ultimate competitor.
I'm telling you right now, no, man. If I can breathe, I'm going to go out there and try to give it. I'm kind of like...
you're a lunatic.
I am a lunatic, that's for sure. But we're going to talk about Caleb Williams because now a lot of people are coming back, and I didn't realize this. I don't remember him doing this. But a lot of people are saying very mean things about Caleb Williams crying. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I thought we want these players to show emotion. We want them to care when they lose. We want them to want to win as much as the fans, if not more. And then he starts showing the emotion, and then all these people start attacking him. And I'm like, man, what's up with that? Well, it's because nobody likes a damn hypocrite. Like, that's one of the most annoying things in the world is a hypocrite. Like,
yeah.
I can't stand a Karen, but I sure as hell can't stand a hypocrite. Karens are pretty bad, too. Except for I know this one Karen, really cute, nice lady. Point is, he made fun of Max Duggan, TCU quarterback from last year. Remember when they lost the Big 12? See, I had to go look it up on the X. I didn't really have to. It just kind of popped up on my scroll, and then I felt educated.
Right.
So I'm looking at it. Max Duggan was crying after they lost the Big 12 championship game last year. Guess who tweeted out a picture of Max Duggan crying and put LOL?
Caleb Williams.
That would be Caleb Williams. So, hate to say it, but some of the hate's a little warranted. And I don't, it's not necessarily hate, but some of the poking fun of him is definitely warranted. They got another big game this weekend. Did you know they play Utah? Isn't that right?
No.
Oh, wait.
They
Utah
played
plays
didn't they?
Washington. Utah plays Washington. USC plays a big game this weekend. Damn it, who is it?
It's UCLA. No,
Oregon.
Oregon.
It's the
There we go.
Ducks. Yeah, I think they're 17-point dogs in this bad boy.
Good Lord. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year that would happen?
Dude, but them Ducks, Dan Lanning's got them Ducks playing good, and Bo Nix.
Sure does.
More starts in college football than any player in college history. He has been tearing it up as well. Guess what Oregon has that USC does not?
Quarterback. No.
A
They both have
defense.
quarterback. There we go. That's it.
Defense. Alex Grinch got fired, the defensive coordinator, after last game when they gave up, 52 to Washington?
Yeah.
So he's out. We'll see what this defense can do. I don't think it's going to have the kind of effect that Josh McDaniels getting fired for the Raiders quite did for the Raiders. I mean, Aiden O'Connell went out there and balled, and did you see Max Crosby and the whole Raiders locker room getting crunk after that game?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about hating your coach. Man, do you know what that looked like? It looked like me after I got divorced. Me and my boys partying right after my divorce was finalized. That's how much. No, I'm just kidding. My ex-wife is great.
Did you see the video last night of Devontae Adams?
No.
I guess he was at Johnny obviously saw it. I guess they were at they had that event in Las Vegas yesterday where they had 2 college basketball games and 2 women's college basketball games. And so I guess Devontae Adams was there, and during a timeout the ref came over and like tossed him the basketball, and Devontae like dribbled a little bit and passed it back to him. And the ref was like, "Great win last night. Glad I could be there to see y'all get back on the winning ways." And Devontae Adams was like, "Oh, you were there?" And he said, "Yeah, I was in like section 312 or something like that, right on the 50-yard line." And Devontae Adams was like, "Yeah, it's going to be much better now. Things are gonna be right now." Like basically saying like, "We got that idiot out of here. We're going to be good now." It was hilarious.
You know what? You got a bunch of dudes. I don't know if you realize they all pros. They all good. Max Crosby's a baller. Devontae Adams. Aiden O'Connell looked good back there. By the way, though, Aiden O'Connell, if you actually looked at him, do you know what he looks like?
What's that?
He looks like
I don't know if
Farmer
I've
from
seen him.
Super Troopers. He's got the mustache straight from Super Troopers, and he's not clowning. He looks just like. Have you ever seen Super Troopers? It's like one of the opening 10 minutes of that movie is probably the greatest opening in TV history.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of cops who don't like to actually do their jobs, having fun, messing with people. They kidnap a dude on acid, put him in the back of the car, pretend they're stealing the car, and he's tripping, and he's like screaming, "We're going to Mexico!" Anyway, he looks just like the dude from Super Troopers. But yeah, man, taking Josh McDaniels out has the Raiders looking pretty interesting this week. Now, one team that definitely did not do it for me last night, that would be the Jets, plus that 3.5. Got that under, though.
Sure did.
Thank you to the Jets. And by the way, not only that, but I also, when they scored that touchdown on the opening drive, the Chargers, and they went up 7-0 real quick, the only reason I had a positive night is because I went ahead and threw a little bit of money when it shot up a little more.
Yeah.
Figured it was going to slow down eventually. It did. The Jets are just terrible. Jets are so bad. Their offensive line is just straight trash. 8 sacks for Zach Wilson. When did Alan Lazard forget how to catch the damn football?
Good question.
My goodness, he was horrible. Garrett Wilson fumbled the ball and dropped 2 passes. That Jets offense looks awful, and I'm going to say it right now. Aaron Rodgers, you're a snake oil salesman. You're full of crap. All you want to do is be in front of the camera.
Whoa.
You ain't coming back in 2 weeks. You just know there's mics out there on the field. I'm going to say, "Hey, Derwin James, what's up? Hey, man, when you coming back, bro? Couple weeks, my ass." Period. Oh, yeah, like, hey, the doctors don't know their head from their butt. Aaron Rodgers is going to will himself with some ketamine and some MDMA and do a little bit of Molly. Maybe like some mushrooms on the way. Give me some of that ayahuasca. It don't help your Achilles, bro. He's a snake oil salesman. Why don't you do me a favor? Leave the team alone and let them play football. Because you're just a distraction. And I'm also I can't stand it when he's just so full of it. Hey, I'm going to go out here and throw a couple passes. I'm going to walk out with no crutches. I'm going to sit here and spin some balls and get everybody talking about me so I can do my Pat McAfee show this week. Aaron Rodgers, please.
He is regular on the Pat McAfee show.
Well, I'll tell you, he's a damn good quarterback, too. But he is an
is.
attention whore. An attention whore, Aaron Rodgers. And a snake oil salesman. And pretty good. Probably the best athlete that does drugs that I know.
Is he?
Well, I mean, he's one of the only athletes that I know that's always talking about his drug use.
Yeah.
Has a couple MVP. What, 4?
I
know he got back-to-back ones. Heck, I don't know. He's a snake oil salesman, and he's full of it. Who cares?
It sounds like you don't like him.
I don't, like... Just, you know what, like... I just don't need to hear about Aaron Rodgers every damn week when I'm trying to watch a football game about the Jets, and I'm worried about the Jets playing some damn football, and Nate Hackett's over there talking to Aaron Rodgers instead of actually figuring out how to get Zach Wilson out of the pocket and move him and let him throw the football maybe on the run, something he's good at, because just standing behind that offensive line is going to get that young kid killed.
Yeah, I'm curious. All the sacks that he had, was that on him or the offensive line?
It's called a combination of both.
Okay.
Like, how about you roll the pocket and let the kid who obviously can't see from the pocket, like, doesn't have great vision down the field, like, how about you just get him out on the edge? I don't know if you know this. Zach Wilson is a pretty good athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's yoked. He looks like he's got tree trunks for legs. He's got a pretty mom, too. She's also kind of an attention whore. You know? Would you be upset if you were a pro football, if you're a quarterback, Would you be upset with your mom always putting thirst traps out there on the IG and the X?
I mean, I don't know, John. I've never had to experience that.
Well, you know what? You're lucky.
I guess
You're
so.
very lucky, son. Go give your mom a hug when you get home. Now, the Chargers, this blew my mind. They scored 27 points and acted almost like they didn't even try. Did you know that Justin Herbert last night, do you know what he did?
No.
He only threw for 191 total yards. That's the fewest he's thrown since 2014. No, he had 136 passing yards. That's the lowest of his career. The previous low was 191. It's only his fifth game without a passing touchdown, and they only had 2 plays of 20-plus yards throughout that game and still won by 21 points.
It's impressive.
You know why? Because that Chargers defense actually looked like some world beaters. Khalil Mack was all up in that keister last night. Joey Bosa was doing his thing. Man. And how many fumbles you going to lose? What was it?
I heard they fumbled a
Zach
lot.
Wilson fumbled 3 times. Yeah. Garrett Wilson fumbled once, I know, and they lost 3 of them. I believe they had 3 fumbles. 3, yes. Johnny's good. Yes.
Johnny watched the game last night.
Hey, I watched. I just broke my foot, dadgummit. So
I'm just saying
memory's a little off.
I couldn't help you. I didn't watch the game last night, so Johnny's got to help you. I was at the Tigers game. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, go. And we're going to talk with you and Zach Boyd a ton about the Tigers today at 12. Again, don't forget 12:30 Hardwood because it feels so good. But on the other side, it's time to talk some college football. We got to talk about Brian Kelly, who's going off and talking about how he's going to send that hit to the SEC.
That's
How
right.
about somebody send something to Brian Kelly, who obviously knew his quarterback was concussed, and put him back in the ball game? Man, we're going to talk about that and just so much dead gum more. But I got to remind you something important. That's Scooters Plus, buddy. Sponsor of the entire first hour. Scooters Plus at 3425 Summer Avenue. You head on over there. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday. They have the largest showroom around. It's UTVs, ATVs, e-bikes, trikes, motorcycles, dirt bikes, dune buggies, you name it. I promise you they got it, and they have the best selection around. They have the lowest price. The price is always right at Scooters Plus. Head on over there and check them out, or you can go online to scootersplus.us. They have financing options available. You can go online, find out exactly how much money you're going to get in your financing option before you even walk through the door. Scooters Plus and scootersplus.us. Check them out. Parts, repairs, sales, and service. Nobody does it like Scooters Plus. David Cobb on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Genesis Diamond's first ever 3-day store-wide sale is this weekend. 3 days of mind-blowing savings, up to 35% off. Earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, plus thousands of engagement rings, all on sale. Designer jewelry has been flown in from New York and California for this. Certified diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. Don't miss the biggest and best store-wide event all year. Save 20, 30, even 35%. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamond. Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78. That's Lamar. And the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Sports and blinds, they just go together. And right now, all Sports 56 listeners get $50 off any order at Blinds Etc. South. Real wood, 3.5 to 4.5 inch plantation shutters made in the Mid-South are always affordable at Blinds Etc. South. And now get $50 off your order. Get your free in-home consultation at 901-681-0225 or go to blindsetcetera.southllc.com. Upgrade your home with custom-made plantation shutters and window treatments from Blinds Etc. South. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Dake. Johnny Hill, and you know it's 11:30 on a Tuesday. And you know what that means, don't you? Yeah, David Cobb, DC, CBSSports.com's very own. I don't know if this guy sleeps during this time of the year. Does college basketball, college football. My goodness, I hope they give him every single summer off, just like a teacher. They're going to teach the kids, and they get the summer off. Why can't David Cobb when he's doing football and basketball? He is the man. He is the man. DC will be joining us in a minute. Again, we got to talk about this huge game down in Athens.
Sorry, I was
Ole
talking
Miss
David's ear off about
in
college
Georgia.
basketball. That's my fault, John.
Oh, it's okay. I get it. Were you making fun of Tom Izzo for trying to throw his his nephew a bone?
No, I didn't. I was asking
losing?
David if he went to any games last night. He went to the Belmont game, so I was asking him. We were talking Belmont basketball.
Nice. Man. Well, we're going to keep that off the airways right now and just keep that on the telephone with y'all. Now it's time to talk with DC. What up, Cobb?
Yeah, you're Belmont Bruins basketball analyst reporting for duty here.
Man, honest to God, I got to ask you something, man. How do you have time to do anything?
This is a crazy time of year, but the thing is, like, coming out of COVID, now being in a place where I'm really close to a lot of D1 schools, like, the best way to find stories is to be there in person.
True.
And the slate last night for basketball was pretty lame. Like, of course, we did have some upsets. Like, I got to see the end of Michigan State losing to James Madison, so that was interesting. But it wasn't like there was a game that I had to watch on TV. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'll just go check out Belmont. They've won 20 games for 13 years in a row. They've got a couple of interesting players on their team. So, I mean, you know, you got to immerse yourself in it every now and then, and I did. It was fun. I was like right in front of the student section. Yeah, the Belmont kids are very polite with their trash talk. Like, you know, just nice little Baptist kids. I think the meanest thing any one of them said was, "Hey, number 21, you're ugly." So I think that was that. It was an interesting experience.
Man, it sounds like it was. Heck, it's been like this whole season's been an interesting experience. And tonight there's a very interesting basketball game. Speaking of hoops, Auburn and Baylor. Like, this feels like a solid game. I'm excited about this one. I'll be paying a lot of attention. If you were, let's just to say, throw a few dollars down, which side do you think's the smart money's on?
I kind of feel like Auburn is getting slept on a bit here going into the season. They're not ranked, which is surprising because they bring back a lot of production from an NCAA tournament team. And they've got a star freshman guard potentially in Aiden Holloway. I would lean Auburn, maybe even money line. And the fascinating aspect of this game to me is two freshman guards, Jacoby Walter from Baylor and Aiden Holloway from Auburn, who, depending on where you look, are both considered 5-star prospects in some rankings. So it's a good one. We need more games like this in college basketball's opening week.
How is it that Auburn is like that? That just doesn't even make sense. Again, for me, but again, I'm not the college basketball expert, because the weird thing for me is the first thing I noticed when I was looking at this: Baylor's the 20th team in the country. Auburn wasn't ranked, yet Auburn was favored by a point. I was like, all right. Where are they playing? Sioux Falls, San Diego, South Dakota.
Yeah, I'm not even sure, to be honest. I think it's a neutral site game.
I think it is too. It's got to be.
Yeah, the odds makers know Auburn's better than the lack of a number next to their name would indicate. That this is a Bruce Pearl coach team. Janai Broom is back. This dude's a stud. Dylan Cardwell, like, their front court is really good, and I'm not sure Baylor is ready for that. And then, they've got some vets, and so even if Aiden Holloway, the freshman for Auburn, isn't ready yet, I still think Auburn's a pretty good team. So. Yeah, I'm right with the Tigers tonight. I would say, Baylor, obviously under Scott Drew, like their floor is pretty high. I don't think Baylor's going to be bad by any stretch, but I'm high on Auburn. I'm high on Bruce Pearl, and I think this could be a really kind of sneaky good year for them.
This game is in South Dakota. We're playing at the Pentagon in South Dakota, and also Greg Peterson has Auburn -1.
Really?
Anybody
now,
cares for that?
Yeah, was he the guy who put you on the scent of taking Oregon yesterday, Brian?
That is correct.
That ended up being that ended up being a pretty good bet at the end.
I'll tell you, Greg's crazy, man. Greg doesn't sleep, only eats steak, and does the the Vegas gambling thing at like midnight till like 4 in the morning,
midnight to 3 a.m. Eastern time. But that's earlier in Vegas. It's like 9 to something. Who knows?
Dude, don't make him sound not as cool. All right,
sorry.
you don't have to fake. Don't do that. Now, Cobb, I love talking basketball, and the only last question I got to ask: you catch any of Memphis at all?
No, just box score browsing. Really, I will catch Memphis sooner rather than later, but nope, nothing more than just the box score, which is an impressive box score when you got 5 guys in double figures.
Yep.
And looks like he rolled pretty deep. And I don't think Jackson State is a terrible team. They actually have a little bit of talent.
That little Adams kid who's really small was damn good. He was about my height.
Yeah, and I think Evans Jr. was a prospect at one point not too long ago. So a good, solid opening win. Although you don't want to give up almost 80 points to a SWAC team ever. So I'm sure Penny. I'm sure he wasn't thrilled with every element of it, but it's opening night, right? You just got to take care of business. You just got to get out of opening night. Unlike Michigan State, which lost to James Madison, unlike Oklahoma State, which lost at home to Abilene Christian, you just got to survive it. And frankly, I don't know why teams. I know I already kind of mentioned this, but I don't know why teams don't schedule good opponents on opening night. Because if you get a quality team in there and you lose the game, it's not going to hurt your resume. And it's going to get you attention. It's going to get you a chance at an actually good win. And at the end of the season, we're going to be talking about Memphis over Jackson State as either a quad 4 or at best quad 3 win.
All right, I got to switch gears. Basketball was a little bit of fun, but now it's time to talk about the real sport, and that would be college football. First and foremost, I like some bets, and I want to get to my my billfold a little bit early. Michigan, with all the stuff that's surrounding them, I don't care. I don't care if they suspend Jim Harbaugh. I don't care because their football team is real good, and I know what James Franklin and Penn State are. Michigan only a 4.5-point favorite. I feel like Michigan goes in there and boat races them.
Yeah, I would take Michigan with that number. We saw Penn State try to play big boy football against Ohio State. It didn't go very well. This is definitely the best team that Michigan's played this season, but they've just destroyed everybody else, and I think they're probably going to do the same thing to Penn State.
Ole Miss plays Georgia. They head to Athens. You look at Carson Beck's number. You look at my man Jackson Dart, same amount of touchdowns, same amount of interceptions. Both have been efficient. You look at the numbers for Georgia's offense, top 10 in defensive efficiency and offensive efficiency. The number 1 team in the country on third down. The number 5 defense in the country at stopping third down. But, man, Ole Miss has played damn good football. They went neck and neck and beat the game with LSU. They had a good first half against Alabama, and then Alabama just came out of the second half. Lane, for some reason, never pulled out any bag of tricks. But this Ole Miss football team finds a way to win. Their defensive front is a lot better than I can remember in a long time. Pete Golding, I think, is doing a great job. You got Judkins, you got Trey Harris catching balls on the outside, and Dart's not making mistakes. Ole Miss, 10 points. That feels to me like a lot because I think they're better than Missouri.
Well, I think why it's a double-digit spread is because of the fact that Lane Kiffin plays these games to win. Like, whenever Ole Miss plays Alabama, Kiffin goes for it on 4th and whatever because he's playing to win. He reaches deep into the bag of tricks, and it backfires, right? He's trying to find something that the opponent hasn't seen on film yet that can give his team an edge, and then a lot of times it doesn't work. Like, he gets a little bit too cute in these games, and then he ends up getting blown out because he's trying to do too much. I mean, my advice to Lane Kiffin here, not that Lane Kiffin needs my advice, but if he asks for my advice, I would say, man, just play a little bit more conservative than you normally do in a spot like this, than you would in Tuscaloosa when you're trying to take down your old boss, Nick Saban, right? Like, this is a huge game for Ole Miss, but they're not going to win it if they're down by 17 points at halftime, right? So get to the third quarter with your team still in the mix, because as great as Georgia is, this Georgia team has also messed around with teams like Auburn and South Carolina. Missouri was a couple of catastrophic mistakes away from giving them a serious run.
They left points on the board, Missouri did.
100%. So, I mean, Ole Miss doesn't have to do anything too fancy here. They don't have to play the absolute, like, game of the millennium, right? Like, they just have to be solid. And you know what? If he goes for it every time he's got a 4th and 7 at his own 46-yard line, I'll bet Georgia wins the game by 30 points. And then that's probably why the spread is what it is.
Man, damn, David, that is honestly probably the best answer that I've heard, because I've asked Jake Crane, I've asked Gabe, I've asked like 20 people. I'm like, why shouldn't I take Ole Miss in these 10.5 points and just load up on them? Because I sure as heck I took Missouri plus 17 on Monday last week because I thought that was insanity. I guess I'm just not quite as sold on this Georgia team. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. But also, speaking of Missouri, who played Georgia last week, they got to get off the mat. They got Tennessee coming to town. Vols a 1-point favorite. They've been running the hell out of the football. Josh Heupel's done a damn good job with this team. Everybody thinks about him throwing the ball all over the damn yard. No, everybody's favorite hooker was throwing the ball all over the yard. Jalen Hyatt was catching it and running it for touchdowns. This is a totally different team. How does Tennessee and Missouri match up?
Yeah, it's a great matchup. The CBS game, actually. So
2:30,
tells
baby.
You what we think. Right, tells you what we think of it. But no, it's kind of the second place game in the SEC East. I mean, I guess there's a scenario where Tennessee beats Missouri and then
it's the second place game. It's the second place game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't have to explain it. Yeah. No, it's the second place game in the SEC East, and it's a great matchup. I think it's a very evenly matched game. Missouri is so much better this season on both sides of the football than they've been in quite some time. And now Tennessee has to go on the road, and in some ways I think it helps Tennessee that they're coming off basically a bye. They had UConn and had the starters out by the middle of the third quarter, whereas Missouri is coming off of a game that went late into the fourth quarter at Georgia. So there's an element that I think works in Tennessee's favor. They should be better rested and a little bit more fresh. But this one's really a toss-up, a coin flip in my mind. I think it could go either way.
Got to go back in time, man, to last Saturday night. You got LSU, you got Alabama. What a great first half. And then, of course, Jaden Daniels gets taken out. Everybody's been talking about the hit. Is it targeting? Is it this? Is it that? I'm actually a little more agitated. I mean, as much as Brian Kelly's making about the Dallas Turner hit, and he's sent it to the SEC to get reviewed, yada, yada, yada. Dude, Brian Kelly put in, obviously, he knew his quarterback was concussed back in that ball game. And nobody's really talking about that.
Well, that's true. I mean, he played one play. I think if he stayed in longer, there would be more scrutiny for LSU for that. But, Yeah, he ran in there for one play, and then they got him back out. I'd be curious to know kind of what the channels of communication were like there, because clearly there was somebody on the medical side that had said, "Hey, wait a second, what are you guys doing there?" Ultimately, I don't think it was a dirty hit. It was a football play. It was Dallas Turner pursuing a passer as he released the football. And I get they threw the flag because the rules say you're not supposed to land on the guy.
Drive him into the ground with your whole body weight.
I mean, sure, whatever. Okay, maybe it's a roughing the passer, but I don't think it was dirty. I don't think it was a suspendable offense. I mean, come on, give me a break. 5 years ago, that's not even a penalty at all.
No.
We're celebrating that hit, you know? So that's where I see it. I mean, it stinks. You hate to see Jaden Daniels get taken out of that game, because there was at least a chance that LSU could have come back with him at quarterback, as opposed to bringing in Garrett Nussmeier cold off the bench. So, sure, maybe it did have an impact on the outcome of the game, but I don't think there was anything malicious or dirty about it whatsoever.
I'm with you there. I will say, though, man, my friends down in Oxford, they were going crazy because they remember when Dallas almost ripped Jackson Dart's head off with the face mask that completely went twisting around his head. So they were a little bit upset on Twitter.
I mean, he's one of the most prominent edge rushers in the SEC,
in the country,
right?
Yeah.
Like you play 500 snaps of football, and stuff like that's bound to happen. I don't think he's a dirty player. If that's the insinuation, his job is literally edge rusher. Like, his job is to pursue the quarterback. In doing that hundreds of times over the course of a season, yeah, he's going to get flagged, a couple times or whatever. I mean, it's football. It's a violent game. Like, that's just what it is, man. So, like, I don't get that. I don't get the efforts to try to paint him like he's some sort of a dirty player.
Yeah, Dallas Turner is he's a full-grown man. I'm glad he didn't hit me like that. Jeez. Now, I got to get back, though, also, because the other thing is my man Tyler called in to Dabo's radio station last week, got that man on a 5-minute rant, and Clemson came out and beat Notre Dame 31-23 this week. Is Tyler from, what is it, Scarborough? Is he get all the credit?
Yeah, man, Spartanburg.
Spartanburg, thank you.
I think one day this is going to be great. There's going to be a 30 for 30 on Tyler from Spartanburg, and I think at some point, like, Dabo's going to bring him in for, like, a Veterans Appreciation Day or something, and they're going to, like, shake hands and, like, hug or whatever. Like, I genuinely believe that's going to happen. What a wild thing with Clemson and Dabo. How about this? I am most curious right now with Dabo on whether or not his agent shopped him around after this season. We don't know exactly how many jobs are going to open at the moment. Maybe it seems like it's going to be a light coaching carousel. But just hypothetically, right, there could be some big-time openings. Michigan State, for example, is a good job that's presently open. I think Dabo would be crazy to jump for that one. But what if Texas A&M opens, right? Is there a part of Dabo that is ready to move on and take that next challenge? Much like when Jimbo kind of plateaued at Florida State, things started going in the wrong direction, but he still had the claim to fame of being a national championship-winning head football coach, and that made him a rock star hire at Texas A&M, right? Like, Dabo Swinney, even though he's having a bad year, would still be at the top of any athletic director's candidate list. So I'm just curious. That's all. Will Dabo's agent shop him around to other schools, and will Dabo use that to make the Clemson brass kind of appreciate him a little bit more?
Heck, the team they beat right now, Notre Dame last week. Notre Dame. Is Marcus Freeman the right guy? You need 11 guys on defense to stop Ohio State. You can't go run out by Louisville, and then you show up at Clemson, a 4-4 team, and lose like that. Sam Hartman, I know, had a bad game with 2 picks and only 150 yards, but damn, bro, is he the dude for the Irish?
No, I'm not worried about Marcus Freeman yet. Like, if they're on track for 8-4 this time next year, okay, let's start to have the conversation. But by no means has the bottom fallen out for Notre Dame. You're talking about a first-time head coach too, right? Replacing Brian Kelly, who came in with a long track record of success at Central Michigan, at Cincinnati, as a Division II coach prior. And you replace him with someone who has, 1 year of coordinator experience at Power 5 level, and you expect him to maintain 10-2, 11-1. And that's ridiculous. And also, they're not all that far off. You mentioned the one man that they needed on the field to beat Ohio State. If they got that one extra man on the field in that moment, we're talking about Notre Dame in a totally different light today. So, yeah, I believe Notre Dame is still a good team. So that's my view on it. I'm not worried about Marcus Freeman.
Would you rather have Marcus Freeman or maybe Jedd Fisch? Probably one of the best stories in football. Arizona's football team is for real, bro. Where did this come from?
What was it?
Arizona's football. I know, Jedd Fisch. America's, nobody talks Arizona football, but, dude, they're winning. They won, 4 straight weeks in a row. They keep knocking off ranked opponents out there in the Pac-12. I can't believe Mississippi State beat them earlier than the year.
Yeah, no kidding. Sorry, I had people banging on my door there for a second. But, Jedd Fisch, since I'm kind of on this, coaching kick right now, he's one that I watch Arizona and see the improvements that they've made. And I think to myself, man, he's got to be kind of making himself some money right now. Not that I think he would leave, because he strikes me as the type who enjoys building. He's got a quarterback there, that little kid, who I think is going to be a stud in the Pac-12. So I think he might try to stay and see that thing through. But my gosh, has Jedd Fisch earned himself a raise at Arizona this year. He's been phenomenal turning that program around after, he was left with basically nothing, and has quickly orchestrated a turnaround there. So I'm sure he'll get some calls. His agent is probably already seeing dollar signs with the turnaround that Jedd Fisch has done.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think about it. Again, they went earlier in the year when they Mississippi State struggled with them. I was talking bad about Zach Arnett. When then all of a sudden, you watch that Washington, and you're like, damn, that team was about to pull that upset off. Then they should have beat USC, only lost by 2 points. Then they did go into Washington State, whipped that butt, dropped Oregon State, and then last week dropped UCLA. Now Colorado, they're going to play them. Boy, how fast has things changed for Deion Sanders?
Yeah. It's just kind of what we should have expected at the beginning of the season. Kind of the worst thing that ever happened for Deion was them starting so high, beating TCU, because it artificially inflated the expectations for what Colorado could be. And now it's a deflating feeling as we get into November. And he's talking about flipping that offensive line. It's gone from exciting to sad at Colorado. At the end of the day, even if this is a 5-win team, let's say, that's still better than what I expected in August or July. And when you consider how terrible Colorado was last season, they are improved. And I think he gets them to a bowl next season. And assuming that happens, it'll go down as an incredible turnaround.
Last but not least, got to bring up USC. Losers of 3 of their last 4. They remind me of the Miami Dolphins. They beat all the bad teams. They lose to all the teams that are good. Lost to Notre Dame, lost to Utah, lost to Washington. How bad did they get beat by Oregon this week?
Oh, gosh. It won't be pretty, I'll say that. Oregon is in a position right now, too, where it behooves them to run up the score, because they're going to be fighting for one of those last playoff spots. And style points could matter if you're there with as a one-loss team on Selection Sunday. If there's 5 or 6 teams that are either undefeated or have 1 loss, then style points and metrics and numbers and margins of victory and all those sort of things could end up mattering a little bit. So I don't expect any mercy from the Ducks, that's for sure.
I don't either, man. DC, tell everybody where they can find your wonderful work and what you got coming down the pipe this week.
Oh, yeah, it's time for the Bottom 25 coming out here in just a bit. So come wallow in some misery with me there. But no, it's a lot right now with both sports. It's the dual sports season, so lots of CBS with all that.
Man, David, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Be blessed, and get some sleep when you can, my friend.
All right, man. Thanks.
That is David Cobb, CBSSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at David W. Cobb. Don't forget Neil's Bar and Grill. Well, it's just not a bar and grill. Do you know it's lunchtime? Oh, yes. Monday through Friday, their lunch menu. On Tuesdays, they got grilled salmon. They got spaghetti with meat sauce, fried chicken, fried catfish, Italian spinach, mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes, okra, broccoli, beans. And, man, they also got spaghetti with marinara if you don't want the meat sauce. Neil's Bar and Grill, where the fat man rocks. Back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take one pill each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. I got Johnny Hill in the house. Big bad Brian Dacus. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk with Zach Boyd. We're going to get all up in the Tigers basketball team. I like this team. Yes, were there some things that made me a little bit nervous? Like, yeah, you know, very opening of the game. If it wasn't for Jaquan Walton, I think the Tigers would have been looking really bad again. He scored the first 7 points. Scored 15 of their first 23. My man was dominant, but we did have 5 Tigers in double figures. They did play some decent defense. They got to work on a few things, but 5 Tigers, double figures, got a dub. Missouri on Friday. Now, we're not going to talk a whole lot of NBA today. Talk a little bit with Zach Boyd. But did you know my kinfolk made his debut last night?
Who's your kinfolk, John?
Bro, do you know my last name? Well, look at my face. James,
Radio?
James Harden. Oh, that was pretty good. No, that is pretty funny. No, it's Harden.
Okay.
I'm James's cousin.
No.
Yeah, that's why I hang out with the baby and Lil Baby.
No.
Yeah, man. He was back, and you know what? The Knicks spoiled his return. He wasn't bad though. Had 17 points, 5 dimes. Got to say, man, I have no idea how it's going to work out with the Clippers, but Clippers, if they don't clip, man, James Harden, little playoff Paul, some Kawhi, might be decent. But, man, tonight's Tuesday, so you know what that means, don't you? We're back to the tournament.
Yeah, back in it, man.
What is the tournament called again? The basketball tournament? No. What is, I know they're playing for $500,000 each player.
It's called the in-season tournament. That's what Brian said.
The in-season tournament. Well, it's back tonight, and a little bit fired up. Wait a second. Are there no games tonight? Because I thought it was Tuesday and Friday.
It's selection day.
Oh, you're a genius.
No, that's Brian. Shout out to Brian.
Shout out today because Grizzlies are back in action tomorrow. They play the Heat at FedEx Forum. Currently, that line's already out. Heat only a 1.5-point favorite. Now, we're going to talk a lot of hoops on the other side. We're going to do that with Zach Boyd. But I got to remind you, man, if you want to look good, where you go, same place. 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. Why? Because they have all your jeans, your fall fashions, and you got to have nice footwear, right? Well, they have the largest boot showroom in the world. Cowboy boots, Western boots, work boots, cowboy hats. They also got Hey Dude. And don't forget, we never forget about the ladies. They got a ladies boutique. We never forget about the children. They have a children's department. Frontier Western Store. And don't forget, if you can't make it down there, I know you can shop online at frontierwesternstore.com. They ship their orders out within 24 hours. Any order of $75 or more is shipped absolutely free. Frontier Western Store and frontierwesternstore.com. Making everybody look a little bit better. On the other side, Zach Boyd, Tigers. And don't forget Hardwood at 12:30. Right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
That's one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Zach Boyd, man. He's back in the house, and you know what Rack City Zach means? We're going to talk a little bit of hoops. We're going to talk about the Grizzlies who are back in action tomorrow night, playing the Heat. Heat who dropped LeBron's Lakers, and now the Lakers are 3-4 on the season. LeBron James passed up the opportunity to hit the winning bucket, to throw it to a wide-open Laker player, because I don't remember who it was. Brick. Man, I'll tell you one thing, MJ's going to take that shot. Promise you that. Promise you that. Now I sound like Skip Bayless, and I can't stand that fool. Now, we got to talk about the Tiger basketball team, the Grizzlies, and so much more, but I got to remind you, this whole hour is brought to you by the best, and that'd be Tito's Handmade Vodka. If life hands you lemons, you don't freak out, you don't fret, you don't even stress. You just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best. That's Tito's Handmade Vodka, crafted and distilled right here in the United States, down in Austin, Texas. And it's 6 times distilled, then distilled in classic copper pots. That's why it's got a very unique flavor, slightly sweet with the black pepper note, balancing everything out. It doesn't matter if you're crafting a cocktail or drinking it neat. Get your Tito's on today. And by the way, Tito's is the vodka for dog lovers. Serious as a heart attack. Tito Beverage has rescued over 600 dogs. Right now, if you go buy the little bottle of Tito's, it's got a sweater on it, and it says vodka for dog lovers. Got a cute little dog on front. Super, super cute. I got about 6 of those sweaters at my house right now. I like to go and get, those bottles of Tito's at my local liquor store. They just started doing that in October, so I've done pretty good. I had to get my gear, you know what I'm saying? I might dress up one of my Chihuahuas one day in a little Tito's sweater, but get your Tito's on today. And there's one other thing about dogs. Since I'm bringing this up, I got so many Heartwood stories. I got to bring this up with Zach Boyd. Zach, do you know why you should not give edibles to dogs?
Yeah, they spaz out just like humans. It's about the same, right?
Well, 2 reasons. One, dogs who can drink water that's been sitting there on the ground, and they can sniff poop and not throw up, and they like nasty things. They can't eat chocolate, and they can't eat cannabis. They're both toxic to the dogs. But also, dogs don't handle it very well. A lady thought her Rottweiler was being was anxious. Now, when I'm anxious and I eat an edible, it does calm me down, and it probably does it for that lady.
Yeah.
But she gave one to her dog, and she thought this was going to be smart. Well, about 30 minutes later, her dog was eating her.
Huh? Wait.
Oh, yeah, a Rottweiler destroyed her. Oh, yeah, bad. She'll never look the same, and the dog will never, ever do anything again because they had to euthanize that junt. So this is a very important PSA to all you people out there. Never feed your dog any edibles.
How?
And by the way, don't blow smoke in its ear either. They don't, getting a dog high is not cool.
How much are we talking about, edible-wise?
She gave 10 milligram edible to probably I don't know, how much does a Rottweiler weigh? 40, 50 pounds or something?
Can you break it down in child's language? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I would suggest you only take 5 milligrams for your first time.
Okay.
I will take usually, for me, if I want to get down, I'll take 30 to 50 milligrams.
Okay, so it's a big...
But 10 is perfect. 10, you come into work, you're good, man. It's just kind of chill, just kind of relax you. But if you want to get buck...
That's when you jump to 50.
Up. Do me a favor, people. Don't do that. I've been doing this for a long, long time.
He is a trained professional.
I was a judge in the Cannabis Cup twice.
Where was this?
In Amsterdam.
Really? Mm-hmm. So you actually flew out to Amsterdam for that?
Yeah, we used to have the hub here in Memphis. It was the hub to Amsterdam. Bam.
Oh.
Direct flight.
Didn't know that.
Very, very cheap. Man, I grew up in some good times, bro.
Yeah, I can tell.
Some really good times. But right now, I feel like there's great times in Memphis, and it's around this Tiger basketball team because hope springs eternal. You love it. And everything I saw last night, Jaquan Walton looks like that dude. I'm just telling you, the game, I'm not going to say, it's the first game of the year. Stansberry's on the sideline. You don't even see Penny. But, man, Nick Jourdain looks like that dude. Jonathan Pierre, I think, is going to be awesome. I was looking and thinking to myself, oh, man, Jordan Brown, dope hair. But, damn, you got some game, son. You can pull down tons of boards. I just like the fact that this team also can make open shots and hit threes consistently. Remember last year it was Dre and KD and get the hell out the way.
That's it. It was pretty much
It was move, get out the way.
And he's just hoping that the other guys came in and kind of made some shots or get on like a little bit of a heater to kind of bring some balance to that. Last night was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see the Tigers back in action again.
There's a lot of fun for those who were there. If you were watching it on ESPN Plus,
Oh,
ESPN
it was a
Plus,
mess.
They're owned by Disney, right?
Yes.
Hey, Disney, ESPN Plus. How you like me now? Some BS, bro.
Yeah, that was a mess last night. I think Mickey forgot to pay his Wi-Fi bill last night.
Damn.
Because it was going.
I know a lot of people last night were checking and thinking their Wi-Fi was screwed up. They screwed everything up, but no. Mickey not paying the Wi-Fi bill. I like that. I like that.
He didn't pay the bill last night. Well, it was going on and off, so he might have paid partial. I'll put it that way.
But
overall, with the action that we were able to see, you can see again, we've been talking about this in all season. Been talking to Bryant as well. Like, you can see that when it's like, it doesn't matter who's on the floor. Everybody is tall and have a long wingspan.
athletic.
And so it's kind of refreshing to see, like, you can sub out a Jaquan and you can sub out a Caleb Mills, but then you can go with a Jaden or Ashton or Jonathan Pierre, and it's like it's not.
Shoot, the little guy Jonathan Young looks like he's going to be a little
Jalen.
I mean,
listen, I wasn't sure if Jalen was going to get any playing time this year. I knew he was going to I knew he was going to play backup, but the way he was defending along the perimeter, I was like, yeah, he fits exactly what Penny Hardaway wants as a person. Knows was a point of attack defense out on the perimeter. Like, he fits exactly the type of player. So I was like, yeah, he kind of oddly enough reminds me of a left-handed Alex Lomax. Oddly enough, he reminded me of Lomax and his defense. So I think so far, game 1 against Jackson State, I thought it went really good. There's still some stuff they got to clean up, but I thought they showed their length. They showed the defensive versatility. They showed offensively that they can, not, like you said, knock down shots, move the ball around the perimeter. So it's just a matter of just stacking these games and improving as the season goes along.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel good about this. Missouri's the next game on their schedule on Friday, but there was a point in that ball game when it was just Jaquan Walton show because everybody else was screwing up. I mean, my man Jones last night, we love some David Jones. In fact, he went 4 for 7 from 3-point line, stroked some shots. But he came out and struggled early in that ball game.
Yeah.
Did not look kind of like himself. And also the other thing that was freaking me out for a minute is, what was our problem last year? We couldn't make free throws, and we turned the ball over. That stuff drew me absolutely crazy last year. Well, in the first half, poor free throw shooting. 6 for 10 from the free throw line in the first half. Second half, 9 for 13. Plus, in the first 10 minutes of the game, they had 10 turnovers. In the final 20 minutes of the game, they only had 6. So, big time improvement right there.
Yeah.
And that was just throughout the game. And again, it's the first game of the year. Don't want to get overhyped. I'm just more hyped of the potential that I see on the court.
Yeah, and then, like you said, funny enough, you brought up the turnover numbers because it was like that's the reason why they were able to get out to that big lead in the second half and pretty much put the game away because they stopped turning the ball over. They're very careful, very precise of passing the ball. Now, a lot of that was because Jackson State did go into a zone at some point in that second half, so it did slow down the Tigers on offensive sets. But, I mean, in transition, they were able to get deflections and get out in transition, 3-on-1, 2-on-1 fast breaks. And, let athletes beat athletes at that point. So.
And they're also going to be better at finishing. They'd had so many bunnies that they missed last night, just a little bit too strong off the glass, or just a couple that I was just like, damn, how'd you miss that? How did you miss that? And there was the dunk early in the game. I can't remember who it was. Oh,
I think it was
he did
Jackson.
Get the free throw. He did get the free throw line.
Yeah.
That was Walton. That was the
okay.
very beginning of the game. When he did a little thing, a little sidestep, and he went right to the rack, and he went up, and bam, it went so hard off there. But he got fouled.
It's okay.
It's all right. Another thing I wanted to ask you when it comes to this Tiger basketball team, Malcolm Dandridge. very, how do I say this? A lot of Memphis fans are not the biggest Malcolm fans. Like, I was at Brookhaven last year, and a buddy of mine was there, and he's kind of a smart aleck, you would say. And Landers was up there just doing something, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Landers?" Da-da-da-da-da, talking to so-and-so, and then he looks over, he's like, "Hey, did you drive him here?" And he knew it was Malcolm, joking around, like, bruh. And then just walked off. I was like, man, that was kind of cold-blooded. Every time Malcolm did something good last night, I would hear from Tiger fans, "Yay!" But you still aren't my favorite player. But last night, man, there's nothing you can complain about him.
Yeah.
He's healthy. He looks in shape. He doesn't look like he's huffing and puffing when he crosses the line from running down. And again, he knew his role.
Yeah, and that was always the biggest thing because, I think last year Malcolm started most of the games last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, and again, like I was on that train as well. I wouldn't say he wasn't my favorite player, but it was like, okay, like at some point it's just gonna click for Malcolm, and then
it just never did.
It just never did, and so it took Leon Davis, 247 Sports, took him to explain it, to say hurt. He wanted to try to get healthy. He wanted to get back to that player, but injuries kind of set him back. And then when he got into the portal, it was like he was trying to look for a fresh start, but in his heart, he wanted to be a Memphis Tiger. And then that pretty much gave me the sense of like, okay, like, yeah, like, did he live up to the potential that we thought that he thought he should have been when he left East High School? Probably not. But at 6'9", 6'8", 250 at least, big body, has college basketball experience.
6'9", listed 260, so
yeah,
we're damn close.
So like you can't have enough of those dudes. And especially on this team where you, like, going into the season, you only had Nick Jourdain and Jordan Brown, because Tafali Leonard was ineligible, and it was just up in the air on DeAndre. So it was at some point like you had to sit and think to yourself, it was like, okay, well, since every big man that since we're not going after all the other big men, it's like, why not just bring Malco back? Let him come out the bench. He could play a reserve role. He could do that. I know. And we saw it last night. He had a solid, I forgot what his stat line was. But
5 for 5 Malcolm was last night.
So he had 10 points.
Yeah, he had 10 points. I know he blocked. He had a block.
Yeah. Couple blocks already in the game. Grab, what about?
He only had a handful of rebounds, though.
Yeah.
Only a handful.
4 or 5 rebounds. So I think, like, in a reserve role, that's, like that is good for Malcolm. Because I think that he can be serviceable in that way. You don't have to depend on him and lean on him, like, so much to be that, he
just needs to go out there and get that dirty on, because again, it's not just Malcolm that you have now down there.
Yeah.
That big boy Brown. What can Brown do for you, man? I think Brown's gonna be able to do a lot.
And then if they gotta go super small ball, you could throw Nick Jourdain at the 5, put David Jones at the 4, or Jonathan Pierre at the 4, and you can still do what you do.
Dude, by the way, this team, as many guys can actually hit a three-pointer. They could
literally
and you got
spread it out.
Mills who can get to the rack, Quinterly can get to the rack. I mean, they got some athletes, they got some shooters, and they got some big bodies. I love the mix. But again, how many times you ever seen the Tigers team shoot over 39% from the three-point line? It's been a while.
Yeah.
And they hit 11 threes last night, and that's something that makes me feel damn good. And Walton's stroke was a lot better. I mean, damn, that boy's got a stroke.
I know. And the last thing on Malcolm, again, Memphis kid, man. I'm not gonna say no to a Memphis kid that wants to play for the city's university. Like, I'm not gonna say no to that kid at all. Like, he's welcome to play. So if you can find a role for him, which he clearly has coming off the bench for Malcolm, like, I think he'll be fine.
I did too. I saw also Jonathan Pierre last night. He only played 9 minutes, only scored 2 points. But I noticed him. Man, he is long. He is athletic.
Yeah.
This bench is so damn deep.
Right.
I mean, you got Mills now coming off the bench, at least last night. Hardaway's coming off the bench. You got Taylor, Pierre, Hardaway, Brown. I mean, that's a starting lineup in a lot of places.
Yeah, and you got all those guys in your 10-man rotation that Penny probably likes to play 10-man, and then you're not talking about
with a team this deep, man. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, man. I almost want to go 40 minutes of hell, man. Lock them up, bring them back in.
I wouldn't be against that. I mean, you got the bodies, and then if you got to throw a couple freshmen out there, you could throw JJ, you could throw Carl out there as well. You could do something like that. I'm not against it. Maybe they might have to pull that out at some point this season, and I'll be for that for sure.
I will say Ashton. God, I don't want to speak ill of anybody. It was a good game. Ashton was a little underwhelming. You could tell he was a freshman last night.
First game,
nerves. Yeah, you could tell. But from everything I've heard from you, from Terry Davis, from all the people around this program, they say that I'm talking about Walton Stroke. They say he's got a hell of a 3-point shot.
Straight shooter. That's all the kid knows. Like he's the best. He's the best out of the three. Like between his dad and Jaden, he's the best out of the three. Like that kid can shoot the ball,
and better than Alo. He's a kid too.
Yeah, I forgot. His adopted son, Alo. But yeah, no, like Ashton. Like again, first game jitters, man. That's all it is. First game jitters, being a part of a rotation. Yeah, I think he'll be fine once he kind of settles in a little bit. Because like all freshmen, unless you have that dog in you. Like you're gonna have a slow start to a season, especially against higher level talent than you played against in high school.
And Javon Quinterly last night, I think he's going to be great. I really do. He didn't pop last night.
No.
And I know he's going to pop.
Yeah, I know. Like Javon will pop out when he needs to. Like, I think last night it was just, all right, let's get the team involved, knock down some open shots if you have them, but mainly just making sure that the team is in its right sets, move the ball around. I know Javon can go large at any point. I know he can get on the heater. So it's only a matter of time for him. It's only a matter of time for him. But if David and Jaquan wants to lead the team in scoring, it's like, by all means, go ahead, man. as long as it leads to wins, that's all that matters.
Man, I'm pretty stoked. Again, like I said, we got Missouri this week. The one big one though is when Penny does come back, Battle for Atlantis is right around there. You get Michigan. Penny's going to be back. Team's going to be kind of rounding about their schedule this year. I mean, by the end of this month, realistically, if they go ham and they start winning a lot of games, you drop Missouri, you drop Michigan, you have a great showing in the Battle for Atlantis. This is a team that could be ranked by the end of this month.
Yeah, it could be. It's possible.
Especially with Michigan State losing to James Madison.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what. Now, what a heck of a run James Madison Athletics is having this year.
Man.
Like, you knock off Michigan State and now your football team's in the top 25? And I think they're undefeated, right?
I think so. In fact, I need to pull that one up. In fact, because I ain't going to lie to you. James Madison football is not one that I pay a whole lot of attention to.
It's not in my lexicon, but
I know Liberty's up there. James Madison, they're all the way up to 21st in the country. Get out of town.
Yeah. So it's setting up perfectly for the Tigers to kind of come in, establish their dominance early. Because again, like you said, once the Battle of Atlantis hits, once that ends, you got Ole Miss on the road to VCU, on the road to Texas A&M, 15th ranked Texas A&M. You got Clemson.
And Ole Miss and the Chris Beard thing is I think they're going to be damn good. I think they're going to be a lot better than people expect. Especially if they get Moussa Cisse cleared and the other kid, I can't remember, who's still waiting for the NCAA to make their decision.
Yeah, and you got Virginia Cavaliers, Tony Bennett, Virginia Cavaliers. Obviously played Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt was really good last year too. So you got a big slate of your non-conference games coming up right after the Battle for Atlanta. So if you get a good showing, and I think North Carolina's in the Battle of Atlantis field, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Villanova and North Carolina.
So you got both of those programs. So I mean, it's setting up to where if they really take care of business,
man, it's a lot of blue in that damn tournament, isn't it?
if you want
North Carolina, Memphis, and Michigan. I mean, it's still maize and blue.
If you want to consider yourself a blue blood, this is what.
Damn.
This is the part of the schedule that you gotta have a good showing at.
And this is
you
what
gotta
you
have
gotta
it.
do.
So, I think so far, again, like I said, first game, we'll see what Missouri looks like when they go up to Missouri this Friday. But I think they can rattle off some wins, get some good wins at home, even get a couple road wins to kind of strengthen that schedule. Strengthen that schedule up a little bit for them. I think they can make some noise.
This team's going to the Final Four.
I can't listen. I'm true blue. I will wear my true blue glasses with the wig. You know, I have some of the fans have the wigs, the blue wigs. I'll have my pom poms ready, but I'm not projecting Final Four.
Oh no, I'm being just Tiger fan and excited as hell.
I know.
It's early and
I want to like trust me deep down. I want to say like Final Four, but I think realistically,
now though, just give me to the Sweet 16. I promise you, I'll dance.
This team can win 2 games in the NCAA tournament to get to the Sweet 16.
Well,
I think they can.
Before I get off the Tigers, I got to switch gears a little bit because I got to talk about their football team. How's Seth Hennigan? He's listed as day to day.
Day to day, wait and see. Do
you even worry about that because they're playing Charlotte?
Not as much, but I am curious to see what Tevin Carter looks if he gets the opportunity to play. Now I know he hasn't had a lot of playing time the last couple of years being the backup to Seth, but he adds a different dimension to the offense because he can move. He's a scrambler. Now he can throw the ball. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he can't throw the ball. He can throw the ball, but he can move.
With him and Watson in the backfield, that's a lot of damn speed.
Yeah, you can do more RPO stuff with him. Now, ideally, you don't want to put your quarterback in harm's way, but he's athletic enough, he's skilled enough to kind of run those different types of actions, and you can still be productive. Now, Brian, I'm curious to know from you, like, what are your thoughts on Carter? Because I know a lot of people they're curious to know about, whether Carter should start against Charlotte. Even at some point during the season, I think they were screaming for him.
Yeah, I mean, Carter's a good player. Obviously, highly regarded out of high school. Had some good offers. Georgia Tech. I think Ole Miss was in there a little bit. Was an Elite 11 guy. So I mean, a guy that can certainly sling the rock. Charlotte's got a good defensive line that you never know if they're going to show up or not. Sometimes they look good. Sometimes they don't look very good. I would say that they're not going to look good this weekend. I mean, if Tevin Carter goes out there, I have faith in him. But I just think they have more faith in Seth right now with what he's done this past couple of years, being kind of that starter. But I think you've got a really good backup in Tevin Carter, who I think at some point can be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think too. Because I think because Seth has been in this lineup long enough that they have confidence in him, kind of just getting the job done.
So I heard this was back when I was covering the team, that in the offseason they do this thing at Memphis where every day, I don't remember if it's spring practice or if it's like fall training camp, they give every player a grade every single day at practice. They give every single player a grade. I heard when Seth Hennigan was a freshman, he got perfect scores every single practice. And when Grant Gunnell was going to be, everyone wanted Grant Gunnell to be the starter. Everyone thought he was going to be the starter. And then he got injured, and all the coaches were like, well, this is a great opportunity. This guy's a better quarterback. We need to play him. And so that's when he started. So it sounds like everything, it was fall camp. Johnny, who's a football manager, he's telling me it was fall camp. So it sounds like, I mean, he came in day one and looked like the better quarterback over everybody. So I think they've loved this guy ever since he stepped on campus, and he's their guy.
Yeah.
I like it. Now I got to switch gears to the Grizzlies. Derrick Rose. We hadn't heard anything, and it's been about 6-7 days. They said he was going to miss at least a week. Have you heard anything about his knee and the injury update?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Me neither.
I just,
I mean, you can't find anything.
No, you can't. You probably not, unless they're giving an update. But I mean, if it's just knee soreness, let's just leave it at knee soreness. Let's not. I don't want to wish any. I don't want to see an injury report saying like he might have to have surgery or something like that. We're not thinking that. We don't want to bring that up. But
yeah, knees have been a pain in the ass for the Grizzlies. I mean, Steven Adams' knee.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Tillman has knee soreness right now, so we're just hoping right now Derrick Rose is just soreness. He just need a break because he hasn't played a lot in the last year of like actual meaningful basketball games. So just general knee soreness. Let him rest, get him back on the floor. I think it'd be fine.
Shoot, it was like 10, 11 years ago is when he had that terrible ACL knee.
I know,
injury.
man.
Golly.
I know. Gosh, that was brutal.
Now, we got to take a quick time out, Zach. Tell everybody what you got going on, where they can find you, and all the good stuff you're working on.
Yeah, Rack City Zach on Twitter. Also, I work with the new Tri-State Defender, so you can follow them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Twitter, especially on TSD Memphis, or X, or Twitter, whatever. I don't know.
I sometimes like X. Sometimes I always say somebody tweeted, but sometimes I'll say, did you see on X? But I never say that person X'd. Like they still tweet. Damn,
that's weird. It's just weird.
It's very weird.
Life is weird.
It's like, yeah, like I just X'd you. I'm like, why you cut me off, man? Like, what are you talking about?
Chill out, Zach.
What are you talking
Chill
about?
out.
Like,
all right, we got Hardwood on the other side. Zach, you might want to listen to this. I got an Eagles coach who wears a G-string. Caleb Williams cries. I know where $20 billion in treasure is. It's going to be raised from the sea floor. I can't get it, though.
Okay, Nicolas Cage.
Dude, $20 billion in gold, bro. Like, how 300 years ago did they get 200 tons on that damn boat?
Hey, man.
Man, I'm excited, John. I'm excited for Hardwood, dog.
If the pyramids were built, if they figure out how to build the pyramids, then I'm more sure they figure out how to put about 300 tons of gold on a ship somewhere. So,
Well, we're going to take a quick time out again. Hardwood is on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Genesis Diamond's first ever 3-day store-wide sale is this weekend. 3 days of mind-blowing savings, up to 35% off. Earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, plus thousands of engagement rings, all on sale. Designer jewelry has been flown in from New York and California for this. Certified diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. Don't miss the biggest and best store-wide event all year. Save 20, 30, even 35%. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamond. Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150-milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Johnny Hill. Big thanks again to Zach Boyd on the other side. We talked Tigers, we talked Grizzlies, and oh, so much more. And earlier, we talked to David Cobb about some college football, a little college basketball. I talked a little NFL earlier. We've been kind of busy, man. Just a little bit busy. But now it's time to talk a little bit about, Hardenwood, because it just feels so dead gum good. Everybody loves a little Hardenwood almost as much as I love Tito's handmade vodka. The best vodka on planet Earth. You can go to your local liquor store and get it for $33.99, man. The big fat boy bottle. Bing, bang, boom. Life is always better with a little bit of Tito's. One thing I love about Ole Miss football games that kick at 11 o'clock, I've always heard this. Did you know that you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning?
I have heard something like that.
You can't do it. So those Ole Miss games give you an opportunity. Last Saturday, Bloody Mary Bar, Tito's, baby, got started off the right way. And one of the best parts of waking up on a Saturday with an 11 o'clock football game is a little Tito's in your cup. Let's go to Hardenwood. Caught you off guard, didn't I? Oh, you've got to have the Hardenwood up, my man. That sounds like...
he had it pulled up. He just didn't have it turned on.
Oh, that's kind of like John... I don't know. Did you hear about Jerry Jones talking about glory holes this week? No? Maybe? Now nobody knows how to
John,
talk to me?
John, I can't hear you. I don't have the headphones on.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Never mind. It was because I said Hardenwood, you have to have it up. And I was talking about Jerry Jones talking about the good glory hole days. And he realized what he said when he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And he kind of chuckled and then said, hey... you got to love a good glory hole. So that was a Jerry Jones little side Hardenwood before we actually get to it. Now let's go to Hardenwood.
This is Access Hardenwood.
That was loud. I think I just lost my hearing. I hope you did not either out there. Damn, that was rough. Now we're going to start with a little bit of football. This is a fascinating story. I don't know what's going on in this world, and I do understand, doing certain things that make you, feel comfortable. I'm all about being comfortable, but how can a G-string be comfortable on a man? Do you think a G-string would be comfortable on a man? I don't think it would be comfortable.
It can't be, John. It can't be, man.
It definitely can't be. I mean, there's a whole slew of issues, but a G-string must be lucky because... Now the Eagles, if you haven't heard about this, when they hosted the Cowboys this week and one of their coaches were on the sideline, he bends over, gets to help out, player comes to the edge or whatever, and he bends over, and then everybody gets to see my man's got pink thong panties on.
No,
for real, dude. He had some pink thong panties on. It might be red, pink. I'm a little colorblind. I just know.
He had it on.
Chaz, I showed it to her, and she's like, "That's a damn thong. That's a damn thong. That's a big thong, but it's a thong." I mean, that's pretty wild. And then he came out and he kind of defended it and saying, "Oh, what are you talking about? I don't wear no thongs, man. Let me see your thong, the thong.
That's a little insane, man.
But he did say that, he does feel like he's going to wear that pair of underwear the rest of the season because he feels like it brought him good luck. But yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Coach for the Eagles. And he's not like their defensive coordinator or anything big, but my man coaches, and he was on the sideline, and I don't know who he was, but I guarantee you one thing, he was wearing a thong. It's just a little different, isn't it?
Very different. Well, he know who he is.
He's comfortable with his sexuality. Or he's comfortable in thongs.
I say, yeah, he comfortable with thongs.
He's comfortable in both.
He comfortable in both, man.
Man, did you see where Cam Newton was, Cam Newton, he was, talking about the good old times.
Yeah, he was. I seen that.
He's doing his stuff. And, Bryce Young, who threw 2 pick sixes last week, 3 interceptions for the game, 2 pick sixes. I mean, damn, right now I feel like Cam could come back and play better than he is right now. Like, even though he can't throw the ball anymore, so many injuries. But he was talking about when he first came back, when he first got drafted, number 1 overall. He heads on over to the Carolina Panthers, and they ask him what number he wants to wear. Well, he wore number 2 at Auburn and won a natty. He'd always been number 2. He said he wanted to be number 2. The problem was Jimmy Clausen was number 2.
Yeah, I seen that.
Hearing Cam tell the story is hilarious. But he said that Jimmy Clausen, he's like, hey, he lobbed him a call and said, hey, man, how do I get that number 2 from you? And Clausen was like, man, simple, man. You just got to pay. I mean, $1,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
That's reasonable
for a number.
Yeah.
What do you think the number was that Jimmy Clausen came back with?
He probably said about 15.
Nope. He said, you give me $1 million and I'll give you the number.
$1 million?
$1 million. Cam came back to him and was like, oh, man, stop joking around. Stop joking. And then he tried to negotiate with him. And he's like, all right, I'll do it for $750,000. Cam Newton told him to bleep off, basically.
Yeah.
But, man, he's like, Jimmy. And by the way, he did say that him and Jimmy are cool now. He did say that, he's a piece of ish for trying to charge him that much. But he said they cool now. But damn, man, he told him to kiss his, you know what?
That's crazy though.
The goal you
have
to
that's
say,
crazy.
All right, $750,000. I mean, I know that athletes make a lot, but he's on a rookie contract, and I know he was the number 1 overall pick. But bro, it ain't like he's just sitting on a couple milli, just chilling right there in his fresh new bank account.
Yeah, so like that was a lot unreasonable, bro. And Cam had the right, bro, to check him about that.
I would have been ticked.
I would have been ticked too, especially I'm the number 1 pick coming in too. So like, come on, this about to be my show. So you might as well give me that number 2. I'm willing to pay. So. I'm just not willing to pay that much.
Well, last night during the game, I don't know if you heard earlier in the show that I was telling Aaron Rodgers to quit being a snake oil salesman.
I liked it.
Quit being a dead gum pain in my keister. I'm tired of listening to you. I'm here to watch some football. I needed the Jets to do some scoring.
Talk
and you're
that
detracting.
Talk.
And he knows that all those cameras and the microphones are on the field. You know that he knows this.
He playing the media like he always do.
He's like walks out, doesn't have no crutches, ain't walking with a limp. Go down there, starts throwing the football. After the game, goes and hugs Derwin James.
Yeah, hugged him.
Derwin's like, hey, man, when you coming back? And he says a couple weeks.
He said 2.
He said 2 weeks.
He said 2.
Well, now people are saying, kind of, I guess they jumped on him. And they asked doctors, and a couple of doctors have come out and said there's no way that he'll be ready in a couple weeks. A ruptured Achilles takes 9 months to recover. He did this just 57 days ago, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I understand that he's built different. Or he's just a cyborg or DMT and ayahuasca are helping him heal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I would be healthy right now, and I think my foot's broken. But now he came out and they asked him again today, and he basically goes on this and it wasn't what's his name's little podcast, but now he's coming out and saying, no, I'm healing at a record pace. I truly believe I have a real chance to be back this year. He also says, I'm going to come back by far faster than anyone who's ever come back from this. Don't doubt me. All right, I ain't going to doubt you, whatever. But how about you stop getting all on the field and being the center of attention? And how about you tell Nathaniel Hackett to quit talking to you on the sideline and start talking to his quarterback, Zach Wilson, and maybe get him out of the middle of the pocket. Maybe get him out on the edges and let him use his legs. Maybe let him throw the ball on the run because he's already running for his damn life because that offensive line is terrible. Cut Adam Lazard. He's dropped more balls than he's caught this year. He's terrible.
He is. He is not. He's not. He is not performing to his capabilities. So and like you said, the whole Zach Wilson thing is tragic because they're not putting him in position to succeed, man.
No,
they're not putting him in no position. So all this criticism going against him, but also the offensive line need to do their job, and also his OC need to put him in the right position.
Man, I'm with you on that one. And then last night also another thing from that football game that really caught me off track. Really, I was like, what am I watching? Where is this going? You got Eli, you got Peyton, and then you got the Governor, the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Comes in and a donkey's living in his house, man.
That's crazy.
What in the hell? His pet donkey comes up, and man, he was talking to his donkey like they had a very intimate relationship.
You lie. Hey, man. Hey, normally I watch that broadcast, but I didn't even see that, man.
Dude.
That's insane. He talking to his donkey is crazy.
Yeah, he would talk to his donkey named Lulu, who lives in his house. And, yeah.
Man, that is crazy.
There's got to be some issues with having a donkey living in your house. When it goes to the bathroom, does it have a donkey window? Dogs can just go in and out?
I guess he just walks it, John. I guess. I don't know,
just
man.
Just walks the donkey.
Instead of walking the dog, he walking the donkey, man.
I mean, I love animals. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big animal person, but I don't think a donkey living in the crib would probably be... donkeys don't smell good, bro.
They smell terrible. I know you've been to the Memphis Zoo, man.
Yes.
Hey, man.
The one that's the stinkiest animals at the Memphis Zoo are actually not animals, they're birds. Those damn flamingos who just sit there and pee on themselves, those are the most stank animals in the history of the world.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You might have to be right about that, man. Cause I haven't been to the Memphis. I've been to the Memphis Zoo, man, and I'm originally from Mississippi, but I went there, bro, and they are terrible smell, man.
I'm telling you, man, whenever my grandkids or I gotta go do a little Memphis Zooing, I'm like, y'all don't need to go see those flamingos. They stank.
They smell terrible, dog.
They're nasty. They nasty. And other things not to do to your animals. I said a little bit about this earlier. Sadly, a lady who loves her animals, but obviously didn't know a little science behind what she was doing. So, animals and people are different. Dogs and people are different. Again, a dog can go sniff another dog's poo, and they just are like, yeah, what's up with that? If I went near it, I'm going to throw up because I got a weak stomach.
Yeah.
Dogs drink water. It's just got done raining. They'll be outside running around, and then all of a sudden they'll just be licking out of a pool of nasty water. Because they kind of nasty.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I love them. They're my dogs, but they do those kind of things. But they can't eat chocolate. Did you know that? You can't feed your dog chocolate. It's not good for them.
I heard about that.
And you can't feed your dog cannabis.
See, that's a little crazy, man. I don't know what would possess, man.
Well, I understand her logic behind it because she said she deals with anxiety.
Really?
And to deal with her anxiety, she takes edibles. I get that completely.
Okay.
Edibles are they calm me down, I can tell you that much. And she's going through a divorce.
Okay.
She said that she felt like it has given her Rottweiler anxiety. His name was Blue.
Yeah.
Blue's not with us anymore because, well, the lady gave him as one 10 milligram edible. and it didn't help the dog's anxiety. In fact, the dog turned into Cujo. Do you know who Cujo is?
No, I don't know who
You
Cujo.
are so young.
I don't know who Cujo is. Who is that?
It's a dog you don't want to find out. I'm gonna put you on that flick. Cujo, that dog turned into Cujo, and basically, she had to run through the house. Somehow got away, locked herself in a room, and called 911. The cops said when they got there is blood all over the house, and there was a very violent dog there. So, people, weed might calm you down, but it ain't gonna calm your dog down. Now, somebody's going to text in
That
here.
is crazy.
Somebody's already texted in because I said also don't blow pot in your dog's ear. Because according to
You
this
shouldn't.
article,
You
pot
shouldn't.
is not, dogs, THC is not something, it's like toxic to their bodies.
Yeah, it is.
Now, well, if you blow in your dog's ear, will you get him high? Yeah, you will. But again, he's got a little brain. Don't be doing that. Don't be feeding your dog edibles. Don't be smoking weed with your dogs. And don't you touch the dial. We got bets on the other side. Sports 56. 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdingers. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdingers, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdingers offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56, real sports talk.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Hanging out with my good peeps, man. I got a little Johnny Hill on the other side. Bryant Dacus. Big thanks to Zach Boyd. David Cobb. Everything's been beautiful. David Cobb gave us one bet earlier, and I like it. Auburn's playing Baylor tonight. Auburn, I think, is very good. 1-point favorite. Not only does David Cobb like them, but so does Greg Peterson, and so does Johnny Radio. And you know what that means? Everybody, go ahead and take you a little chunk out because we're going to play Auburn Tigers basketball against Baylor. Best game on TV tonight by far. Pound that junt inside. Now, we're also, I'm a little fired up. You know we got action tonight. Tuesday, Ball State, Northern Illinois at 6 o'clock. That's on the CBS Sports Network. ESPNU got Central Michigan playing Western Michigan. Now, not only do you have that, but it's 6:30 of Ohio and Buffalo. Now, Ohio, I love Rourke. Their little quarterback, Rourke, is just bad to the bone. Problem is, my man gets knocked out all the dadgum time. He gets injured. The only thing is, if my man Rourke plays, life is usually good for Ohio. If he doesn't, it's kind of like last week. They just got blasted by Miami of Ohio. Now, Rourke played in that game, threw on 313 yards, had a touchdown. They're playing Buffalo tonight, who you watched Buffalo in action last week. They have a very average defense, a very bad offense, and I feel like laying 7.5, that hook kind of makes you a little bit nervous. It makes you a little bit nervous. I don't think so tonight with Buffalo. I know Buffalo's at home against Ohio Bobcats. I think Rourke goes out there on TV, has a huge, huge game. Buffalo got blasted by Toledo the last time that they played, and that was on Halloween. Well, Ohio hadn't played since the 28th. Few extra days of rest, a little bit healthier, and they're just the better football team. I don't mind laying 7.5. Go with the road team, Buffalo Bills. Oh, no, Buffalo Bulls. Yeah, they're the Bulls. Buffalo Bulls get blasted today. So I really like that one as well. Now, we got no NBA action, man.
Yeah, no NBA action.
No NBA action. And we just started that whole tournament. Every Tuesday and Friday it's supposed to be there. But don't worry, we got NBA action tomorrow. Your Memphis Grizzlies are going to be right here at the crib taking care of business. They play the Heat. And last night the Heat spoiled the Lakers business. I mean, LeBron James, this Lakers team now is 3-4 on the season. Trouble in Laker Town? I don't know. It's also very, very early, but there's definitely trouble for the Grizzlies, who are 1-6 on the season. Hopefully they can get off the schneid because, believe it or not, this line tomorrow night looks very fishy. Right now you got Miami, who is a 1.5-point favorite over your Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies at home, only -1.5. They have not won at home this year. They're 0-3, man. They're 0-3 at the house. You know how people like to get bucked down there at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, it's very disappointing right now.
By the way, huge difference in the Tiger crowd and a Grizzlies crowd.
Facts. Yes, it is.
You know
Big
what I'm
difference.
saying?
Big difference.
My buddy Anthony saying, I don't know if you know him, he said a Grizzlies crowd compared to a Tigers crowd. He said a Tigers crowd is closer to the 8 a.m. service at Bellevue. And he's like,
I like it.
And I can't remember what the Grizzlies crowd is more like basically just getting buck
with it.
Whoop that trick.
Yeah, John.
So they're having some fun. So tomorrow night, get on down to FedEx Forum again. Your Tigers got a big victory last night, beating Jackson State. Their next game is Friday against Missouri. They won 94-77. 5 Tigers were in double figures. It was great. I hope you have a great Tuesday. For Johnny Hill, I'm John Harden. Get out there, make the world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
I know we say it all the time. Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown bar, is not a sports bar. It's a bar that happens to have sports on the high-def TVs. You know what a great bar Bell Tavern is. You know how great the signature cocktails are. You know how amazing the food is. And all that is what makes Bell Tavern such a great bar. But what sports we have on those TVs this month? If you love college basketball, the NFL, the Grizzlies, and college football, well, for this month, you can pretend Bell Tavern is a sports bar. A very civilized sports bar.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's football time in Memphis, and if you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, it sure better be home selling time in Memphis. And just like you may